I think I want to, let's grab some cards. Let me use the Lenormand and use a tarot deck. And I want to ask about this Christian haterism. Let's just call it what it is. This false Christian haterism that's twisted the gospel into this superiority, self-superiority, and haterism. So I just want to see what the cards will have to say about that. What can you tell me about this fake Christian twisting the gospel into hater? Being big, large haters and self-superiority when it comes to others. So what can you tell me about this? Let's just see if the cards have something to say on this subject. So I'm going to use the regular Lenormand because my Lenormand deck is in the other room. So we'll just use the regular Lenormand. So the reading's about the past, what's offered up. It's also the card for the Epstein stuff, but in this case, this has to do with the past, perhaps their childhood, etc. And light on that, light on their past, what's being offered up from childhood. Energy coming into it, yeah, it's about manipulation. It's about wanting a transformation, okay? Transformation of their storylines. So they want to transform their storylines from their childhood, okay? But what are they transforming them to? Okay? So magically, we're going to make our childhood change. I'm going to change the storyline. So what's going on now? They go into not spirituality, but religiosity. Okay? Dogma, religiosity, the health. So they think that this religiosity is going to be healthy. Trying to manipulate from their childhood, make a better storyline that they think is more healthy, but it's religiosity. The challenge is the cup, the overflowing cup of emotion. When it comes to humanity, when it comes to others, etc. Potential outcome is about what's being handed out. Okay? So what's being handed out has a short-term success for them, maybe. Okay? Maybe they'll get a little something out of it for a short time. But like I said, the other side, I never knew you. Short-term success. Outside influence, yeah, barking mad. Okay, delusion. Their delusion. They're things done by the dark of night. Obstructions, things by the dark of night, and trying to anchor in some sort of a temperance for their lives. Okay? But while it may afford them a little bit of short-term success, they are in, what is that? Delusion. A mountain of delusion. Okay? The fake, the false. This is not Christianity. Okay? Although they're going to tell themselves, you know, this is healthy, trying to make a massive transformation into religiosity, and this cup of overflowing drama that they're putting out to humanity. What they're giving out, again, short-term success, but it's a mountain, it's an obstruction into the dark, into the shadows, into the delusion, okay, rather than into the sunlight. They have entered into a false path, a false narrative. So let's go ahead and let's look at the energy of this. I think I'll use the tarot again. And we'll look at the energy of this. So what's the energy of this? First thing is the burden. A crushing burden, crossing it, a message about actions, okay? And also from their past, and the cup, the new cup of things, again, the burden from their past, they're trying to put over there an action of this new cup. Above it, we have their actions in hand, though. The Queen of Rods, their actions they're doing are of the dark, okay? This is not coming from the light. When you go into hater mode, okay, burdened by your past, burdened by your childhood, etc., and you are adopting this, you know, messages of action in the cup. But what is the cup they're giving? A cup of abominations, a cup of hate. Okay, so energy coming into it, it's about control. They want to control their environment, the things around them. They want to control their life. Energy is about the nightmare, okay? The nightmare, attempting to control their personal nightmare, whatever it is. Above it, the things that are up in the air that they haven't managed to get a hold of. The pain, they're driven by pain, mental, physical pain. Okay, they haven't had healing in their life, okay? They're covering it over with something else. Energy going forward. It's about, now many times this is when I'm doing political White House, but in this case it's about their own home, about balance or lack of balance in their home, okay? And the choices they're making in life. Above it, facing loss, still ongoing loss when it comes to new information, etc., and driving it all, wanting to be king, emperor. They want to be somebody of import, of importance, rulership over somebody else, okay? Because the foundation, they're in pain, mental, physical pain. They're chained by darker elements in their lives and the information. Above it, things up in the air when it comes to the actions in hand they're doing and facing loss, which they continues to try to cover it over. Going into it, it's about trying to control things, the nightmares of their lives, the burden of their childhood. And when it comes to the balance or imbalance of their home life and the actions, the choices they've made in life, again, underneath of it all, driving it, is a message about actions. Again, their cup of abominations that they want to try to say they're saved by the blood, and they're attempting to rule it over others. So they have no control in their life. And they've exchanged the genuine teachings of Christ for this fake religiosity, dogmas, dramas, and want to try to push their thing about how superior they are now and how others are going to hell. Okay? So, yeah, it's not a place of peace. It's not a place of, again, finding anything better in their lives, because they are still chained by these dark actions that they're doing. Okay? They're still chained by that. And because they are abusing the reality and the teachings that have been offered by Christ, and they've perverted it and continue in their perversions and yet try to cover it over with some sort of sanctimonious crapus, okay? Absolutely, they're sanctimonious crap. So that's what I'm getting today on the reading about their so-called stance of Christianity. It's not pleasant, it's not pretty, it's not healing. It's only benefiting them for a short time, and they're still locked in their, again, whatever thing they're locked into in the dark side, they're still chained by it because they refuse to give up their haterism. Okay, they refuse to give up the hate, the superiority, the drama, and come with the true teachings and understandings of it all. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.